When it comes to instrument approach procedures during instrument meteorological conditions, one very important concept that pilots should be familiar with is the approach ban policy. When weather conditions at the destination airport are reported to be below minima, pilot has to take decision whether to continue approach for landing or to discontinue approach. Approach ban policy helps the pilot in command in the decision making process. During bad weather at airport with weather conditions below minima, approach ban policy helps to minimize the unnecessary approaches where a successful landing chances are very unlikely due to weather. As per ICAO Annex 6, an instrument approach shall not be continued below 1000 feet above the aerodrome unless the reported visibility or controlling RVR is above the required minimum. Here, the term controlling RVR is touchdown zone RVR, and if other two available, mid and end, and they are reported, they will also become controlling RVR. Now we will calculate approach ban point. Suppose our airport elevation is 1265 feet. We need to round off this to next higher 100 feet. Thus, it will become 1300 feet. Thereafter, we will add 1000 feet to this figure. Thus, in this particular case, our approach ban point will be at 2300 feet. So, if after passing approach ban point, the weather deteriorates and the reported visibility or controlling RVR falls below the required minimum, the policy allows to continue the approach down to descent altitude or height, or minimum descent altitude or height. Further, the approach can be continued below descent altitude and landing can be completed if sufficient visual reference are established and maintained for the type of approach. So we will understand all these approach ban policies by case. Suppose reported RVR or visibility is greater than minima. It means weather is good, approach will be carried out. So suppose before commencing approach, if reported visibility or RVR is less than my minima, so I will not commence instrument approach procedure. In this third case, suppose I have started my commencing my approach and afterwards visibility or RVR has reduced and it is less than my minima. So I will not continue approach below 1000 feet above the aerodrome, or I will not continue into the final approach segment. So these will be the 2 points. So after suppose case number 4, I have entered into the final approach segment and thereafter reported visibility or RVR is less than the minima. So I will not descend down below approach ban point. So approach ban point is 1000 feet above the aerodrome. Now we will consider the fifth case. Suppose we have crossed approach ban point. So up to what height we can go, or either we are allowed to make an approach. So suppose in this particular case, once I have crossed the approach ban point and I am descending and I have received a report from a traffic controller, TAR controller, that reported visibility or RVR is less than minimum. So in this particular case, I can continue up to descent altitude or height. And at descent altitude or height, if required visual reference is established, I will carry out a normal landing. If required visual reference is not established at descent altitude or height, I will carry out a missed approach procedure. So the phrase required visual reference, it simply means that I have some reference with the visual aids. It can be approach lights, it can be runway lights, threshold lights, touchdown aiming point lights. So all this will help me to make some decision that I am making a correct approach. If it is not there, so simply I have to, second point says that if required visual reference is not established, so I will simply carry out a missed approach procedure.